Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about the grand theory, great battles, and historical causes in white secession film. But let's cut to the chase right now, okay? First, let's talk about the secession failure of the Civil War and why the North won.
Robert E. Lee, leader for the South Army, was such a genius and his legions so invincible.
If he was so genius, then why did the South lose?
The answer to why the South lost is that his legion as Lee's soldiers tend to group themselves into a few main categories.
So you're trying to tell me that the South was disorganized?
No, that's not what I'm trying to tell you. My point is that the South lacks resources, and if the South had about the same resources as the North wouldn't stand a chance against the South.
Exactly, that's the point. It was less developed as in economically, socially, and politically.
Yes, you are correct on that. But then again, it wasn't fair that the North had a potential manpower superiority of 3 to 1 man, and an actual superiority of the armed forces of 2 to 1 man during most of the war.
Yet the South still had slavery. On the other hand, the North was anti-slavery.
Exactly. The South lost because of the disloyalty of slaves, who defected to the enemy whenever they had a chance, causing the South itself the lack of will to fight.
Lincoln had a lack of military experience, but he had the strategy and need to plan and take action. But since he didn't have the time to be shipped with the military, he had to find the right guy for his replacement, which was General Grant.
Robert E. Lee was a genius too, in great leadership skills. But because of what I mentioned earlier, the South was defeated sadly.
The North did great with a leader who knew what they were doing, and the South picking the wrong guy to lead them.
That's the reason why I like to do in catfights. And I like dogs, if you haven't noticed that yet. That's right, huh? Yes. Anyway, General Ulysses Grant wrote a letter to Edwin M. Stanton. What's on that letter, you say? Well, let's find out, shall we?
Dear Edwin M. Stanton, this war is full of advantages and disadvantages of both sides. We greatly outnumber them by population while they are constantly supplying and helping each other in different wars because of the seasonal changes. Both the North and the South carries the same interests in welfare and should be joined together as one. The guilty will always be punished, no matter what side they belong on. They will always be punished accordingly to their guilt. The basics of all our plans is to first, overwhelm them with our great number, and second, to constantly be on their army and resources till there is no more. Everything that I have done, I did for the best, for the interest of both sides.
So what happens if the South did win? What will be the actual outcome? What will become the United States now? Well, if you want to know what really happened, let's go to the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yes, we'll rally round the flag, boys, we'll rally once again, shouting the battle cry of freedom. We will rally from the hillside, we will gather from the plain, shouting the battle cry of freedom. The Union forever, hurrah, boys, hurrah, down with the traitor, up with...
So the Battle of Gettysburg was fought with little green men. Who would have thought? Though, I wonder if the aliens actually did use the actual weapons. I don't know. Anyway, the impending crisis. There should be a debate about this one.
The South sunk a large majority of our people in gallowing poverty and ignorance, rendered a small minority into conceited and tyrannical, and driven the rest away from their homes, entailed upon us humiliating dependence on the free states, disgraced us in the recesses of our own souls, and brought upon us the reproach of civilized and enlightened nations, and which all be traced to one source, and there find one solution in the most hateful, horrible word that has ever been incorporated in human economy: slavery.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our presentation. I know our group did. If you'd like any more information, go check out your local library, or if you're too lazy to go, like Google. Alright? Thanks.